Hey everyone, how's it going? I am finally getting to this video. I know that a couple weeks ago, Etsy made some changes, or actually announced that they were going to be making some changes, and everyone kind of like freaked out. And of course, it happened on a week that I had strep throat. So it has been crazy here at Sarah's house the last few weeks. My son had strep throat, and then I had it, and then my daughter had it. So it's kind of gone through our house and just really knocked us all out. So I have been really wanting to get to this video, and I've wanted to research and really kind of find out what's going on over there at Etsy, and kind of get my head wrapped around it so that I could then do this video and talk to you guys about it. So I have my notebooks full of notes. So I'm going to try to cover as much as I possibly can. I don't want this video to be crazy long. So we'll kind of go through everything and let me know your feedback. Let me know your thoughts. As this starts to roll out, we will kind of keep addressing it. The more information that comes out, the more I will learn about it, the more that I will research it and reach out to people that I know and get more accurate information. Pretty much what's happening. Okay, first of all, a lot of you who have sold on Etsy for a long time, and I'm meaning since 2008, 2009, even 2010, Etsy making changes is not anything new, all right? A lot of you just started selling on Etsy last year, so these might be all these changes that have been happening like November, and then at the beginning of this year, and then now this. You might be like, whoa, what's going on? Please know, this is normal. As far as Etsy goes, this is very normal. Etsy never stays the same. They always are changing. Some of their changes are awesome and have definitely improved their site and have improved seller stats and sales even. Some changes they make, they just suck. There's really no other way to say it. And some changes they've made, they've done away with, and then others they've gotten rid of and then come back and have added them back in. It's Etsy's business. It's their company. They're going to do whatever they want to do. And they have a staff of people that looks at reports all day and data all day. And they determine what direction the site should go. And unfortunately, you as a seller, you do not have that much power when it comes to what they're going to decide. They have these little fireside chats and they get feedback. But ultimately, they are pretty much going to do whatever they want to do. So the best thing you can do as a seller on Etsy is roll with it. The only thing permanent in life is change, and that's so true. You have to roll with it. You have to be flexible. You don't want to get too caught up with what you currently have and then want to hold on to it. You have to evolve, you have to change, you have to grow with that site. Unfortunately, and this is something that I have taught a lot of you, even back last May and June, is Etsy, your Etsy site is not your site. It's Etsy's site. It's Etsy's shop. It might be your brand and it might be your products that you're selling, but ultimately Etsy has the last say over your shop and your business. So this is why in Flourish we really talk about growing off of Etsy and having your own website, being listed in a few different areas. So I just want to kind of remind you guys that this is not anything that's going to ever change as far as them making changes. They're going to continue to do this as they see fit. So the best thing for us to do is not to freak out. When stuff like this happens, don't freak out. And it's hard, those of you that do this for a living, those of you that depend on this income, that don't have other jobs or don't have a spouse that can take care of expenses if needed. It's very scary when this stuff happens, but it does happen all the time. And the more that you can be flexible and work with it, the better you're going to be overall. Okay? This is something that I liked to do when I had my shop on Etsy, because I was one of you, and I remember my first couple years, I was like, holy moly, these changes are really kicking me in the butt. I mean, they would do a change and my sales would fall off. And I was the breadwinner. I was the only income source of my family, so it was scary. What I used to do that worked for me is I used to try to look for the hidden message, right? They are making a change for a reason. What is that reason? What are they trying to accomplish? So I would try to read all I could from the Etsy blog or from their announcements and try to gauge what is their purpose in this. And then when I realized whatever their purpose was, I would adjust my shop accordingly, right? Because I believe that they are going to show shops that fall in line with their purpose. So that's always a good kind of rule of thumb, is to kind of know what are they getting at? Why are they doing this? And how can I go with them? You know, in other words, don't swim downstream or upstream. Is it swim upstream? I don't know. You know what I mean? Don't go against the grain. Go with it, and you will be rewarded from the Etsy gods if you do so. So let's kind of break it down. There's two major changes that they are doing, okay? And this is April 5th is when it starts, when it goes live, when everybody else will see it. They have changed the shop design, okay, and how your shop looks, and they're doing a major change with the policies. So let's first discuss design. Let's first discuss why they're doing this. I don't know how many of you don't like the new look or how many of you like the new look. Personally, my opinion is it's awesome. I felt that the old shop design was a bit outdated. There was a lot of different areas you had to click on. Some didn't make sense. If you guys remember, the shop announcement really didn't make sense for buyers. There was two different about sections that you had to click on. One would be right under your name and you'd pull up this little blurb, and then the other one would be your shop announcement. There was never enough shop sections. It was just kind of clunky. So I think with the new Handmade at Amazon, where it came out with a large cover photo, it was also a nice spotlight of the actual shop owner. It was more focused on makers and it being handmade. They were really trying to go against Etsy with that. So whether or not Etsy is making these changes based on that, I don't know. I'm sure that had a little bit to do with it. I feel that the new shop design, and this is how I feel that all of you should look at it, is that it is like your very own web page, your own little mini website on Etsy. That's how you should look at it. That's kind of how the format is. If you think about a website, especially new current websites, they have a large cover photo. You scroll up and you can see pretty much everything right there on the front main page. That is kind of how the new design looks. Etsy has said that it's all about building your brand, that it's all about showcasing your brand, that they want to give more control to the seller than themselves, which I don't buy, but I believe that they are wanting it to look less like an Etsy site and more like individual sites. So for example, I think that they're wanting to showcase that these are makers, these are individual makers that have their own individual things going on, and they are simply selling their items on Etsy as a platform. Before, all the stores kind of looked the same. Even though the banner changed with the different stores, it wasn't as noticeable as perhaps these larger covers. I believe that is really what's about. And if you read all the information that they are giving, they are really focusing on it being all about your brand and all about your story and telling your story through your branding, etc. and so forth. So another good positive thing is there's no clicking around. So everything is going to be kind of on one page. You get this nice cover photo. You have your products on your page. You have extra sections. You got an additional 5 sections, which is fantastic. Your policies, your about, all that is going to be all on one page. I think that it's going to be a lot easier for customers to get to know you as a company, to know what your policies are, to know your story. And it's going to make them, in my opinion, what I think Etsy is doing is they are trying to take the heat off of them. If you Google Etsy's reviews, if you look at the Better Business Bureau, if you look at Etsy's reviews overall, it's really bad. I mean, I think they have 1 star. It's really, really bad. And a large portion of Etsy, a large part of their team is dedicated just in handling the case system. They are overrun with cases after cases after cases. It's I think become an overwhelming thing for them, and I think they're trying to distance themselves from that. So I think by putting more emphasis on the shop and who the shop is and learning about the shop and the makers and their policies kind of now directs the customer back to the shop owner instead of to Etsy. So I think before, when customers had problems, customers could just make a case with Etsy or report a shop without actually discussing it with the shop owner, or they would leave a review without reaching out to the shop owner. So a lot of times customers would just buy straight from the shop without even communicating to the owner at all. And when they were asked, where did you get this? They got it from Etsy. I got this from Etsy. Not I got this from XYZ Designs. I got this from Etsy. So I really believe that the hidden message behind all of this is Etsy wanting to push the customer's dealings directly with the shop. They want you to make your brand stronger. They want it to be more recognizable. They want the customer to have all the information on your specific shop right there on the front page. I believe, and this is just my opinion, but because they haven't come out and said it, I firmly believe this is to get the customer to interact with you, the business owner, more than to interact with them. I think they're tired of dealing with it, to be quite honest. Let's talk about design a little bit. Do you guys remember, and some of the younger people in the group may not, but do you remember MySpace? I know it doesn't seem like that long ago, but it really was. It was like 9-10 years ago. MySpace used to be huge. It was like before Facebook. And everyone loved MySpace. And the reason why was because on one page, you could put everything about you on that page. You had your photos on that page. You had what music you liked. You had all the different music artists. You could even play music. So when people got to your MySpace, a song would be playing. You could put all these cool sparkly graphics and GIFs on there. People could comment and you could read. I mean, this is all on one page. It was your space. I know that's kind of funny, but that's why they called it MySpace. It was a place where you could be you. You could just put it all out there like a collage of sorts, or a scrapbook of sorts of your own life, of things that you did, of things that you liked. It was a lot different than Facebook. You had a lot of creativity with it. You could design it in colors and use cool graphics and stuff that you wanted. It was really cool. And I think in my thoughts and in my opinion, I think that this new shop design is kind of like that, but for your business. This is a way for you to have more creative, say that 5 times fast, creative control over your space. So here you have this nice large cover photo that you really can use to attract your brand. Now, I know there was a lot of discussion about what do we put in our banner? What do we put in that photo? I am going to stick by my teachings that I've taught forever, and that is, do not put product pictures in your cover photo. Now, there is exceptions to this always. If you have a beautiful lifestyle pic or a staged, and I mean really done well, a staged pic of perhaps your work area, and you have some of your product in your work area, it can be okay. But really, let me explain that the purpose for this cover photo is for you to really attract your target market. It's to make your target market feel comfortable on your page. You want them to shop around. You want them to know where they are. You want them to feel good about where they are, and you want them to stay in your shop and shop around. So I think it's silly to put products up this in this large area when you have most of your shop filled with your product pictures? It's like, why do that? You know, this is, if you think about websites, when you go to visit a website, do you see the header of a website? Do you see products in that space? No, you see their logo, maybe a slogan or a tagline. You get colors or graphics that create a feeling of what that website's going to be. Let's say if it was a wedding site, you might see wedding bells or lace or flowers. If it's a nautical site, you might see an anchor, or you might see water or something like that. Remember, this is all about your brand. It's all about your business and what you represent, what you stand for. It's important. That cover photo is going to be ever so more important than your Etsy banner because it is huge and in their face. So it's very important that you have it done right. That being said, you can partner with Canva, Canva.com, because Canva has partnered with Etsy. They will have a template for this Etsy cover photo, and with all the proper sizing, and you can go in and you can design it and do whatever you want. I, of course, as always, recommend that you partner with a graphic designer. If you are unable to pay for a graphic designer, I understand using Canva is a good option, but this is your business. And I see sometimes people say, oh, well, I don't want to purchase extra services. I am not about selling you guys extra services. I'm not. In fact, I have an announcement to make about my own services, which I'll make in a minute. I'm not about that. I'm very much about helping makers do stuff on their own, DIYing it. That's why I charge so little for Flourish, because I don't want people to have all this excess money to spend on other things, because we are unlike most small businesses that actually have to get business loans to get started. We're doing this all from like what we have and trying to get started. So please know I am not just trying to push services down your throat. That is not what I am doing. However, you guys have to sometimes invest in your business. You sometimes have to spend a little money to make more money. And with you being an online business, there are certain things that you just don't want to skimp on. And one is your branding and two is your photography. You just don't want to do that. You want to be represented. You want to look professional. You want to look beautiful. You want your stuff you want people to log on to your shop and be like, wow, this is awesome. And you want them telling their friends about it and telling their family about it. If you do some of these things, if you invest in some of these things like graphic design or photography, if you invest in those things, then you don't have to put so much work in all your social media and marketing and all that stuff, because your customers are going to do it for you. Because they're going to be like, this shop is the bomb. Like, seriously, this is like the coolest place ever. You have to check out so-and-so's shop. They'll do it for you. So please know when I am making suggestions like partnering with graphic designers or product photographers, I'm doing it because it really is the best investment that you can make for your shop. And I'm perfectly cool with everyone DIYing it too. But please know what you're doing, because sometimes I look at brands and I'm like, oh, that's not the look you want to portray. So it's really important for you to say, hey, do I have these skills? Can I do some basic graphic design? Can I make my own logo, or can I build my own brand? Can I take my own photographs, maybe invest in a camera or invest in a good background or something and really make it happen? And if you can, go for it. Do it. I mean, you guys are creative, so you already kind of have that eye. But if you can't, and you can't, do what you got to do to make it happen and make it look beautiful. Okay, so the design, I really believe, and I'm just looking at my notes, make sure. Oh, the icon. So in the banner, I think it should be attracting your brand, whatever that may be. I really do think it's important that you emphasize that you're a handmade business. So I've seen a lot of banners lately, a lot of cover photos people have been sending me or showing on the wall, and they're showing like their workspace, almost like with scissors and some tools. That's awesome too. I mean, that's really cool, because again, the more that you can show value in your items being handmade, the more you can get the prices that you're asking. So I think that's cool too, as long as it's attractive to your target market. That's very important. I know we keep coming back to that. You have to know what your target market is, because you want them to come on your page and be like, I love this place. Not like having this cover photo in their face that's not attractive, and they'll be like, they're not going to be as excited to shop from you. So it's important. Your shop icon really needs to be a logo, not a product picture. It needs to be a logo. So you may have, let's say, your logo for your shop banner or cover photo, and it might be your name written out with like a design or something or a tagline. And you may say, well, I can't put that in a little shop icon box. No, you can't. So you need to make a logo that will fit in a square box. Or if you have a specific theme to your logo, let's say you're using, like, for example, for me, I have the Joyful Entrepreneur and it has the mandala. If it were me, I would have the Joyful Entrepreneur on the cover photo, and then I would perhaps have the mandala as the shop icon. Now, again, we're going to be talking about this a lot next month. Next month is our Build Your Brand month. It's going to be an awesome month. And I'll talk about that in a minute. But you really want to have brand consistency. So your shop icon has to be consistent with your branding. It has to. Don't put your product pics up there. It needs to be your logo or a graphic that is consistent with your cover photo. The same with your social media pages. Okay? So that's that. Also, Etsy has already come out and said that the shop icon will be represented in other places. It'll be on your receipt. It'll be on anytime they feature your shop, your icon will be represented. So it's always good to have a logo or have that consistent brand consistency there. So let's talk about the pros. We got, with the new design, you can rearrange and edit your shop right from the home page, which is super cool. No more having to switch back and forth between the dashboard and not. You'll be able to see what it looks like just as your customer will see it. It's a lot more professional. It is a lot, it's a better way to sell your brand and to have your brand out there in front of people. You get 5 extra sections, which is, I mean, amazing. I've been asking Etsy to add new sections for years. Your policies and your about page is all in the same place. So I think overall it is a very positive move that they're doing, and I'm excited to see everybody's page when they get it all filled out, because I think it's going to be really a good thing. Let's talk about the other controversial topic, the policies. Okay, so remember when I said try to find the hidden meaning, try to see what it is that Etsy is getting at. Etsy, if you read their announcement on their policies, you will see that it's very vague. Anytime that Etsy is being vague, usually means there's something they don't want to say. So they've pretty much come out and said they want to see clear and easily defined policies from every shops. I believe that all the cases that have been coming up, and they're just overrun with cases. I believe there's too much confusion. Every shop is different. I think, again, they're trying to streamline shops. They're trying to have pretty much, they come up with this template that they would love for sellers to adapt into their business, because then it'll be a lot more easier to manage, again, on the case side or the refund side or the conflict side. Review reviews. I mean, all this stuff that they have to handle and maintain. You have to imagine every shop, millions of shops having different policies. I'm sure it's a nightmare. I'm sure it's an absolute nightmare for them. Etsy keeps saying that they want to build trust. And again, like we talked about before, if you look at their reviews online, if you look at what people are saying about Etsy in general and about buying from Etsy, it's quite negative. So I think as a business, they're just trying to control, like do damage control kind of thing. The controversy is Etsy is telling you in one paragraph that you can keep your own policies. But then they're telling you in another paragraph that should you decide to use their template and their policies, their pre-made policies, you will rank higher. So I think that is an issue. that's something I'm not happy about. I'm sure that's something that all of you are not happy about. I know that there's a lot of grumblings about it. I try to stay positive and I try to stay joyful when it comes to these things. I think it's awful, but I understand why they're doing it. So all I can say is that, again, you're selling on Etsy's platform. You want to rank high, you kind of have to do what Etsy wants you to do. So, of course, your own SEO and things like that. I'm not saying that you're not going to rank, but if you can use their policies, I recommend that you use them. For them to come out and very clearly say that your ranking will be better if you use their policies, I firmly believe that they will stick with that. So that doesn't mean, again, that you won't rank if you don't use their policies. If you're a shop that has a lot of sales, you will always be ranking high, because I believe that sales is their number one factor when it comes to the algorithm. If you're working really hard on your SEO, you're still going to rank. But I do think if it comes between you and another shop, and that other shop has their policies, they'll probably put that other shop first. So, you do have some flexibility. You are allowed, even if you use their template, you are allowed to add FAQs and your shop story, or your shop, what was the word? I forgot, not the privacy policy. There's something else that you can add into the end, and you can still do that. But Etsy has said that when it comes to cases and it comes to disputes and it comes to all this other things, they are not going to look at your FAQs. They're going to go strictly by the policies. And they've also said that even if you have your own policies and it goes through a case system, that doesn't necessarily mean they will decide in your favor. So, whether it's really they're going to back you up if you use your own policies, I can't really say. I've had cases against me, and in my own experience, they kind of do whatever they want to do. It doesn't really matter what your policies are. So, for me, my policy, I had a lot of personalization, and my policy was, if an item was personalized, you could not get a refund on it unless it was damaged or something. And I had a couple cases against me. People just changed their mind. Their wedding was canceled. They just decided they didn't want it. Whatever it was personalized. And I very clearly in my policies stated no refunds, and Etsy sided with the other person. So, I think if somebody were to just directly and say, Sarah, what's your advice on this matter? I would say use Etsy's policies and move on with your life. Part of business is doing refunds. Part of business is having upset customers, and it's just something that, you try with good customer service, you try to please them. But I can't really say that if you have any other separate policies that Etsy would enforce it anyway. So it's almost like a lose-lose. So, this is all brand new, and Etsy is kind of tweaking things as they go along. This may change, and if it does, I'm going to stay abreast of this information. I follow quite a few people that are really on it, and I will let you guys know as we go along how they plan on handling that. Okay, so let's go on to the next kind of wonky thing: algorithm changes. A lot of people are seeing like a crazy drop in views. Again, hold on, because this is normal. We had an algorithm change in November. Then we had another one in January where they were saying that they are going to start showing people items that they have had favorited. And based on the favorited items, they're going to start showing that in your feed. Do you remember that in January? This is, again, why those like for like and fave for fave games are not good. Because all these people that spent time liking people's stuff just to like their stuff now are going to see all those people's stuff in their feeds, and it may not be what they're authentically really wanting to see. So I think this is going to be one of those changes that Etsy does away with. But so we had that in January, and now we have this new shop design that they've been testing, behind the scenes, and then they're going to be implementing that in April. Unfortunately, this happens. As they change things, just algorithms go crazy. They go wonky. So I don't think there's anything you can do. I don't have, I don't have really any advice. about that. I don't think there's anything that you change if you go trying to change something. I think that when it all starts to kind of balance out in April, you'll kind of now have to change it back. So honestly, when this happens, guys, and I know again it's scary, you go from 300 views a day to 12. It's like, what's going on? I really think that this is just normal ebbs and flows with their changes. I'm sure it will balance out. I really want you guys to focus on what we teach in Flourish. Focus on those 5 pillars. Focus on your branding. That is more important than ever now with these new design changes. So if you've already worked on your branding, double check, make sure it works with the new format. If you haven't and you've been wanting to, get on it. Make branding your focus, because April 5th, this goes live. You want your shop to look amazing. Then product photography. We've spent all month working on product photography. It's been an amazing month. We've had some amazing presentations. If you haven't watched them, they are on the Flourish main wall. Just scroll down. They're also filed, of course. So focus on that, because remember, again, your brand and your product photography is the most important. Then your SEO, and again, we are always going to teach what they tell us from the latest algorithm changes, and that's using long tail keywords, mixing them with the general keywords. Make sure that you're using the keyword you're using in your title, using your tags. There were some questions today about a Marmalade presentation about tags not, the order of tags not mattering, and it doesn't, and we never said it did. And Marmalade did a presentation within Flourish also, that's in the files. So don't worry about that. Just make sure that you do have the same tags that you have in your title. Make sure that you're using keywords throughout your copy. That's always really important. So focus on that stuff. Also, of course, your copy and your pricing. You always want to make sure that you're being competitive. Make sure that you're using seasonal keywords and things like that. So just focus on the 5 pillars of what we teach. And if you want more information, of course, there's more information in the files on the 5 pillars. Keep your head up and stay positive, guys. This is important. More important than anything, I think, is your mindset. And we're going to talk about that at the meetup. But it's really important that you don't let this kind of stuff knock you down. You just kind of need to roll with it and stay positive. That's so important for you to do. Okay, what do we got going on next? Welcome, new members. We had a lot of new members. Oh my goodness gracious. Over the last couple of weeks, we've had and I thank you to all of you who are submitting your or posting your screenshots and making testimonials and joyful. Holy moly, you guys are doing amazing. Between me being sick and trying to research all this information on the new Etsy changes, I don't have time for promoting Flourish at all. And you guys are doing it for me, and I am so grateful because, and we're going to talk about sales funnels in a minute, but that is part of the sales funnel is actually what we do is by having a free group in Joyful. And then you guys, them seeing all the activity from Flourish, and then they join from Joyful into Flourish. It's awesome. So thanks so much for you guys posting your stats, because you're not just helping me and helping Flourish and helping grow our group, but you're also helping these people that are joining, because their lives will be transformed by what they learn and Flourish. So it's just overall, it's fantastic, and I'm so grateful. Thank you so much for doing that. New members, a lot overwhelmed. Everybody gets overwhelmed when they join Flourish. This is very common, and don't worry. The more, again, that you can just kind of relax, the better it will be. Just watch for a week or two, and you will really kind of see how everything starts to work. We are working on a new platform. Brianna Prevet is in the process of trying to build us a new platform. But in the meantime, we're using Facebook. So we have Facebook groups. We have Flourish. Flourish is the main group. I want you to think about that as your classroom, where you have all your presentations. That's where all the important announcements are made, where all the learning is done. Club Flourish is another group. That's more of a peer-to-peer group. That's where you can ask questions. You can have people look at your listings, have people look at your photos, have general questions. It's more like a study hall. Then we have the lounge. The lounge is more like recess. That's kind of like your break or your cafeteria or whatever. It's where you go just kind of shoot the S with people. It's not really for business discussion, and it's really not for heavy personal topics, because that, can really affect other people. So try to kind of keep it light, but that's where you have fun and talk about your personal stuff or your social stuff. It's a socializing group. Then we have the Flourish Market, which, by the way, how does everybody like it? That is our new group where we sell to one another. We were having a lot of questions as to what was a promotional post and what wasn't, and it was getting a little crazy. So we created this Flourish Market, which is where you can support other Flourish members. It's where you can post your listings, you can post your promotions, your sales, any of that good stuff. That's pretty cool, although I can't spend too much time in there because I want to buy everything. But it is just for Flourish members. So it's where Flourish members can go to purchase from other Flourish members. We have the files, the main Flourish page up at the top. It says files. Click on that. That's where you can learn all the lessons that we've taught since we began. It's a lot of information. So just pick a place you want to start and go with it. The events in Flourish for right now, there's an event tab. You can click on events and join all the groups. Don't worry about the dates. They're just there for placeholders. There's a photography event, SEO event, copy event. You go into those if you want specific help from the experts on those topics. It's free, doesn't cost you anything. Okay, egg contest. Let's go over that. Oh my gosh, and for any new members that are joining, you have a couple days. We did this month a giveaway for an iPad. Let's see the iPad right here. iPad. I'm giving this away to a lucky group member. The point was this was our product photography month, and I really wanted everyone to focus on having amazing photos. I think a lot of people thought I was a little weird for wanting everyone to take a picture of an egg. But for me, it was deeper than that. I know the challenges that can be had for trying to take a picture of an egg. I wanted everyone to kind of be on even level playing ground with their photos. And I really wanted to kind of, and somebody mentioned this in one of the groups, I want you guys to think about this every time you take a photo. So you're taking these pictures of these eggs and you're wanting to get the best shot so that you can win this iPad, right? I want you to think about that and have that being your mindset when you're taking pictures of your own products, because you get a prize every time. If you take a phenomenal photo of your own product, every time you get a sale for that product, that's a prize. And I know that sounds kind of cliched and kind of goofy, but it's the truth. I want you to always take photos of your items just as if it was that egg and you're going to, enter a contest to win something really cool. So it's really important. As far as judging the contest, I'm screwed. I really am in trouble because I only have one iPad and some of these photos are amazing. So that's going to be a little difficult for me. I don't know what I'm going to do. The whole point of the photo really was for you to sell the egg. I mean, I need to want that egg. Like, I need to look at that picture and just be like, oh my God, I have to have that. That was the main point. You get bonus points for creativity, but the main point was for you to sell me the egg, right? Because that's what you're trying to do with your products, is to sell me your products. So I'm going to keep that in mind when I look through the photos, but it's going to be very difficult. Okay, next month we kind of went over that. I wanted to mention really quick about me. Okay, so as most of you know, I stopped selling my critiques because our group is so large that I was getting so many orders for critiques that I am so behind on critiques that I have all kinds of people not happy with me. So I had to stop selling my critiques, and I stopped selling that a few weeks ago. To where I wasn't doing it. And I was only selling coaching sessions. Well, I've done a lot of thinking about me and the services I offer and the services I offer Flourish. And I have decided that starting May 1st, I will no longer be selling my coaching sessions. Now, don't freak out. This does not mean you cannot get coaching from me. This means that I will only be coaching Flourish members. So if you're a member in Flourish and you need help, I will help you. Now, obviously, there's 1,800 members, and not everybody, I can't help everybody. Obviously, that's the problem I have right now. So these are going to be more kind of random on the spot kind of trainings. I want to spend more time in Flourish. I want to spend more time with you guys. I see you posting. Sometimes I see you guys posting questions, and I want to answer you, or I want to spend a lot of time with you, and I can't because I have a coaching session, or I have critiques that I have to do, or I have podcasts to make or videos to record. Just like all of you, I have to try to make my time more efficient, and I am committed to this group, and I am committed to helping as many people as I can. So I've decided that, and that's, $2,000 or $3,000 a month is about what I was bringing in from my critiques and my coaching sessions. So, this is a big, significant chunk that I am going to do away with. But to me, it's more important to be in the group and to be with you guys as needed. So those of you that have already purchased coaching sessions, don't feel like you've wasted your money because now I'm going to offer it for free, because it's not going to be like a on-demand kind of thing like Sarah booked me for a coaching session. I'm going to see where it's needed and do it accordingly. So if anybody wants to purchase a coaching session from me, to be sure to have it, as long as you purchase it before May 1st, you will be able to get on the schedule. But after that, it's going to be taken off my website. I'm not going to be offering it to the public or Joyful or anybody. I'm strictly going to be offering critiques and coaching sessions within Flourish for Flourish members as I feel it's needed. Okay, so, and of course, I'm always available for PM. You guys can send me messages. You can tag me. Don't feel that I'm not touchable, because that's not the case. I really want to be more involved with your guys' posts and your problems and things like that, so that I can help out more. So that's that. What else? Okay. Next month, Build Your Brand. That's April. It's going to be huge. We're going to talk next month about, I know we're at 40 minutes, so I'm going to try to hurry up. We're going to talk about the importance of brand recognition. We're going to talk about brand consistency, how to build your brand off of Etsy, how to get your own traffic coming in. We're going to have a lot of awesome presentations on that. A lot. How to use social media to build your brand, etc., and so forth. So we'll go over that, and Heather will post that soon. I believe she's going to post that this week, all the presentations. We do have the meetup in May. We have presentations by Caitlin, on telling your story, which is going to be even more important with this new shop design. Mary is doing a presentation on the Google Keyword Planner and how to utilize that properly for your SEO. Lee is going to be doing an email marketing course, which is going to be amazing to build your brand. Danny is doing sales funnels and also how to create a brochure. Sales funnels. You guys, this is really important, and it's something that is not talked about in the handmade industry very much. And the reason why is because handmade sellers and online sellers in the handmade industry, they don't see themselves as regular businesses. But sales funnels is one of the greatest tools that most businesses use to grow their business. And it's just not talked about in the handmade circles. So Danny and I both come from a sales and marketing background. So we're very knowledgeable about sales funnels and how they work and how to use them. This is something we want to teach you. It's going to be huge. And so Danny and I are doing this presentation. Danny's mostly doing it. I will talk about a little bit of stuff in the beginning, but she's doing a whole thing. She's putting a whole thing together. We are going to offer this to those of you that cannot come to the meetup live. It's going to be a live broadcast. You'll see everybody and you'll see the whole presentation for $49. And I know that you might think, oh my goodness, well, that's a lot of money. It's not compared to what you guys are going to get. It's a way for you to kind of be there without actually having to be there. And it's going to be an amazing presentation that will, blow your business up. So, and also Danny, and I don't think I can tell you who, but Danny's working with one of the members to actually do this and put into practice with her handmade business to use as an example at the meetup. So if you're not familiar with the meetup, or if you're new, we're having a meetup Memorial Day weekend here in Atlanta. If you're close, or if you don't mind flying, get here. It's $189 for the weekend, and we're having all these presentations. Ashley's going to be there presenting on Facebook. Heather's going to talk about wholesale buying. Marissa's going to talk about growing your brand with Pinterest. Paige is going to be doing an interactive product photography demo and workshop. She's also going to be there taking headshots of every member so that you have them for your business, for your profile, for your social media. Rosemarie is going to be there. She's going to be talking about handmade at Amazon for those of you that also sell on Amazon. It's going to be fantastic. This weekend it's going to be epic. Saturday night, we're having a party to celebrate Danny getting engaged. Sunday, we have the Mindset Mastermind. We're going to be talking, that's going to be me. It's going to be more intimate. We're going to have this nice brunch at Mary Mac's, which is a historic restaurant. They have like Southern fare food. We're going to be talking about the importance of thinking big. That is, I can't really say enough about that topic, but your mindset is everything. And those of you, those members that I've seen lately that have been really putting into practice your mindset and the law of attraction and thinking positive and really planning out your day mentally, I have seen an amazing improvement in your business. So I know it works. It works for me. It's working for the people that are actually implementing it. I think that Sunday's workshop with me, the Mindset Mastermind, is really going to be something that really changes the way that you look at business and how you run business. And I think it will really start to bring in everything that most of you have been wanting to see from your businesses from when you started. So it's going to be fantastic. If you have any questions about it, I will bump up the post on the Main Flourish page that has the links to buy your tickets, to reserve your hotel room if you're going to be staying in the hotel, as well as there's a link for the live broadcast. If you are not going to be able to attend, but you do want to see the presentation on sales funnels, that will be on there as well. So I think I covered everything. Oh my goodness gracious, I'm going to be judging this contest in a few days, and I'll be sending out the iPad. I will make an announcement on April 1st. Of who the winner is. If you guys have any questions, please, of course, answer or ask me in the threads below. Also, if you've been working on your photos this month for Product Photography Month and you've taken some really good photos based on what you've learned, please post them in the comments. I would love to see some of your pictures and to see how your improvements have been coming along. So if you guys need anything else, just let me know. I'm always here and happy to help, and I will talk to you guys later. Thanks so much. Bye.